So you mentioned, maybe losing a friend, if there's conflict or something. And going back to the same question, like, what would happen then if you lost a friend? Like, go to your identity and like your view of yourself or your worth or value. Like, what would that say about you if you lose a friend because you're bringing up conflict or you're rocking the boat?
I do not know. I do a lot of self-reflecting. I have thought about that, but I honestly don't know. Like, especially if the situation that is rocking the boat is a theological disagreement, and I'm convinced of my position, then that is going to spring in me a level of confidence, not pride, but confidence that I'm right. So if something happens over theological disagreement, it I don't know if it would say anything uh, to me about myself. Um, it might be the way that I disagree, but especially online and also in person, I try to act the same in that I am being cognizant and respectful of people's disagreements and positions and things like that, and talking those out. I don't know what it would say about myself. I don't know if it would say anything about myself. I might just be nervous about what might happen, which
Yeah,
shouldn't be enough.
and nervousness comes from fear. Anxiety comes from fear. So there's things like when people are nervous about conflict or fearful of it or dislike it, it's mostly because there is fear of what's going to happen, or fear of what this person is going to think of me, if they're going to abandon me, if they're going to reject, to gaslight me, if they're going to blame shift and put it all on me. There, and I'm not saying this is like how you think for yourself, but like in general, this is usually why a lot of people have fear of conflict. They're afraid of being invalidated, all of these different things. I had a former friend. She told me straight up that I was a bad friend and it was my fault for the issues that were going on. And I'm not somebody who usually would stand up for myself. So when I did try, that was what I was met with. Even as a believer from another believer, that was happening. And so I know for me, as I go through a healing journey, I can see like, oh, when I'm being gaslit or when these things are happening or when if there's conflict, to me what I'm hearing is that I'm not worthy enough to be heard or understood, or I'm not good
Mm.
enough for that person, or I'm not lovable enough for that person to even want to hear me or see it from my perspective. So there's a lot of things that people have that are underlying messages, how they perceive the situation, which brings a lot of fear to have conflict. But it's how we view conflict.